Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the CommanderSmiths at patreon.com. Welcome to the CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
That felt so stupid. I'm sorry. I'm Lowery Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
You were just showing off your hat, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, that's
I did. I was like
hat.
this.
Yeah, I know. That was a pretty sweet. That is like, I like it because when you tip your hat up, I just see Nicol Bolas. Like, no.
Yeah.
When you have when you're talking to me, I just see Nicol Bolas on the bottom.
Yeah,
That's
that'll happen naturally.
pretty fantastic. It has like scales. So the birthday present, right? You got a birthday present there?
Yeah, from the in-laws.
Looks,
So yeah, it's cool. It's like scales. Nicol Bolas. I am the arch enemy, and
Yeah.
I accept my role.
Speaking of, what do we have in store this week's episode 218? We are kind of talking about similar things like arch enemy
A little bit,
in a way.
because I'm not actually like, maybe I'm the arch enemy of the crew, but we're gonna be talking about the heel.
And so it's just all about Lowery today, right?
Nope, it is not. We have a special guest on today, which would be our buddy Trombley, which we mention all the time. And he is
Probably the best heel we
professional
know.
heel. Yeah. No,
He's a professional healer. Wait, he doesn't heal you.
No,
He's just
no.
a douche
with
all the
laughs
time. No, I'm just
and-
kidding.
But
No, it's-
yeah, so we're gonna talk about how you can be like a nice asshole, like make it enjoyable for the
What?
crew. I mean, that's a little aggressive, but like,
one of
some
those
people have
perky-
Chipotle at night. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice asshole. That's just purty. It's just,
Perfect. I don't. So,
chocolate
I mean,
starfish. All right.
We have
That's the
a
name of the
really
episode.
good, solid discussion there, and he also joins us on Staple Versus.
Yeah. So we have a
do-
three-way. Oh, yeah. Three-way staple versus.
Yeah. So, Adam chooses the worst in Reese the Redeemed.
Oh, don't even.
And-
You can't start this early just because we've been drinking for like
can,
the last
and
hour and a
I
half, 2
am.
hours.
And Trombley is choosing Trostani, voice of Silencia, and
Silencia?
Look, this is the problem when we
Do this at the beginning.
when we record the second part first.
You guys get to see something special. Lowery
I don't
drunk
know
at the
about that.
beginning
It's-
of the episode instead of the end.
Look, I was aggressive in my drinking, and now I'm drinking
Because we were trying to
wine
get
'cause I
there.
ran
We were
out
trying to get
of
lubed up for staple
appropriate-
versus.
Yeah, because we know that's our bit. That's the
Yeah.
fun. And then I am doing Garrett of the Conclave, and no, because
All right, we'll get to
That's
it later.
fine.
All right, so
All
we got that. That's a pretty sweet staple versus. It's kind of dealing with tokens. We have the heel. We have Mr. Trombley himself. We haven't had him for a long time. You guys will find out how long it's been.
it's been a
when you get to
while.
that segment. Yeah, it's been
a while.
It's been a while. He was our very first guest, so that's kind of cool.
Yes.
So, then we have a new stump this week. AJ. Because I did not do, it was Easter and just, just had family stuff and whatever. And I just I've been doing a lot of proxies, and it used to be one a week. And now when I do proxy time, because I'm doing it live, it's normally like 3, 4, 5 a time. So I'm on for like an hour, hour and a half.
Or
So,
3, 4 different versions of the same one,
Exactly. That's
which is
also a thing.
cool. Like
Yeah, gives
I
people
enjoyed
options
it.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So I took off this week. So whenever I do the taking off a week, it'll probably happen once a month or once every other month. I will pick the oldest person that has submitted some, not that their age,
Wow.
just the
Yeah,
longest.
Yeah. Wow.
AJ is by
AJ
far not the
is young and
oldest.
spry.
Yeah, he's pretty chipper. So, he is the oldest submitted, like the longest lasting one. So he submitted back in August. Holy crap! It's been a while since.
been a while.
But we just had so many people submit.
He hasn't been picked since we started giving away prizes.
Yeah, he was picked
Right.
before that. yet. But
and
not
he has
since
one.
prizes.
So I am worried about this. What are we giving away?
Oh, good job on that. We are giving away.
It's pure. I don't remember.
I don't remember. Oh, yes. We are giving away Atwara, the full art Soaring City. So it's not the one that looks like the little starship Star Wars destroyer thing, but it's a freaking sweet card, and this just jumped. So instead of this being only like a $12 card like we bought it, it is now like a $20 card or something.
We're
like that.
specking for you.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards that we do that where I think we gave away the Great Henge back in the day, and then that fucking thing went way up in price. So
I bet you
when
Besh
we pick
still
cards
is
out,
happy that
you're making money.
Well, he doesn't listen anymore, I'm sure.
Who?
But Besh, he's the one that won that.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we got table versus. AJ's going to try to stump Lowery. This is week number 3. Next week will be 4. If we make it there, we'll see. Lowery. If he, I know what the card is, but
we'll see.
I know what the card is, but I don't know the name.
I might do better than I think.
Yeah, your beer's deep. Okay, so what happened this week? So there's you got to see a listener. A listener fucking flew in and was here on editing day for me, so I couldn't come down and visit. And we had snow and all that shit, so it was a little
no
interesting.
prostitution was involved.
No.
He was in town for work.
Smith.
Yeah, he just kind of reached out and
I said, I don't want to meet you.
That's not what you said.
I'm so famous and I don't want to.
And
I was like,
I'm super humble. And I was like, yeah, I will come and hang out. We had some pizza and beer, and I appreciate the camaraderie. It was fun. We hung out for a while.
I could tell you guys got into some deep talks because he immediately changed his name to Cousin Jake when he came back on the Discord. And I was like, all right.
It was enjoyable.
Larry and Noob Smith were having some words.
You know what? He's an easy guy to talk to. And awesome. We talked plenty of politics and a lot of personal stuff. That's not going to happen for everybody or anything. But
so side note,
it was a good conversation.
For those of you that are coming to town, give us a call or reach out, and Lowery will meet with you for a beer and pizza.
That's not 100% true. But if you're going to buy me pizza, it does improve your chances. Because I like pizza.
How do we get in your pants? Oh, sorry. That was
that's going to take 2 pizzas at least. I mean, as my wife knows, she had to buy me Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, to do that. So... because it came out on video and DVD and probably Blu-ray.
And where did you come out? Oh, never mind. Let's just move on. All right. So
everywhere.
You spider webbed it.
The coming of age story.
Coming of age. Good.
Yeah,
all right. We also did have. We did that later in the episode
because I can do it more than once.
But then you gotta say, "There you go, AJ." Oh,
no,
gotcha.
No, that's
bang,
later.
bang.
I say that later. This is different.
I got you.
This is a bang, bang, bang.
Ejaculation thing, right? All right. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah,
I feel you. What'd you do to your mic? You just broke it.
No.
It's starting to go down. Tighten that bitch up. All right. So well, actually, I will talk about my beer. I talked about it later in the episode as well, but it is still the Sticky Puddles from, this is actually right near us in Big Lake, Lupulin Brewing, but it's Imperial Sour Ale, blueberry, strawberry, banana, vanilla, and marshmallow. It's actually pretty tasty.
It does sound like a lot of good
It's a
flavors.
good sour. I haven't had a sour in a while, so it's actually pretty delicious.
I'll try and keep an eye on it. I am drinking Static Transmission. This is from Shell's Star Keller series, and it was aged in 1936 Cypress tanks. Method Traditionale. It's okay. It's all right. You can kind of taste the wood in it, which is nice. And I have,
wood?
Like the next 3 weeks also, gross.
I was like, I'm just gonna let that one slide. I was just people will catch that one. You got it. All right.
This one's okay. Like it came in a 4-pack of like one individual different. And so I'll be tasting them throughout the next 3 weeks. And then also, as backup, I have Brass Foundry Brewing. It's out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's just their amber ale. I have 3 more as well coming up in the future. And so this one's, again, okay. Not something that I love where I'm going to be like, you should try this amber ale. But it's, as you can hear, like between 3 of these and 1 of this, I'm doing well. So
he's doing pretty fine.
Doing all right.
I would say for a sour wise, this is good. I haven't had a sour in a while, and I dig it. So you were always bringing the sours in, and then I just haven't been picking up. I've been going for dark stuff. So, but these are the 16-ounce cans, and I am on my 3rd one. Just opened it.
That's
so
tasty.
We'll see how this goes here.
Tasty.
I think. Oh, we saw each other this weekend. We got to hang out. Easter was great. Good to see everybody. It went by so fast. Like
it goes very fast.
That's what I was saying to Cindy. Is like our family when we get together. You and I, we talk a little bit, but we always talk every week. So we kind of branch out a little bit and talk to people we don't talk too much.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good to catch up with your brother. And then I talked to Mark a bit, which was good to catch up with him because he has the new baby. Well, year-old Kennedy.
Still new.
The best part of the most fantastic part of the day was being inside. I think I was talking to Grant, your brother, and we look over and you are just shoving kids one after another by the head. Like you took my son, Drake's coming at you, and you grabbed him by the head and just shoved him like 10 feet back. And then another kid comes running over. I think it was little Lowery. You shoved him down, and Zeke and Beck. And then the girls came at you and you're like, gently put them on the ground.
That's not fully true, but I mean, okay, there's
it was
a way.
100% true that you were just Lowery smash.
You were just like, okay, so one thing that when I'm catching your son's like skull, I'm not just like pushing and palming. It's catch.
Hadouken.
No, it's a catch and make sure that he's firmly there, and then it's kind of like a throw backwards, which is very different than just like fucking Hadoukening him. You know what I mean?
No,
so
but
like,
it looked hilarious because we're all sitting here and we're just like,
you're just getting thrown around.
You had like 7 little kids just attacking you, and you're just like,
I was
gently put down.
I was exhausted. I was
exhausted. Sweaty when you came.
I was so tired,
and
that
awesome.
was
I
my
definitely
need to get in
like,
my cardio. Oh yeah, no, I appreciate your dad saved my life, and Grant came out and wrestled one time, and he also saved my life.
I sat inside and
done.
ate chips.
Yeah, why didn't you come out and wrestle? I would have.
I thought you had it under. You had it under control.
I was fucking dying. I was dying. I was like, after that second time, I just like sat on the ground, just going.
See, that's the thing with kids is like, there is no break at that point. Once you start the wrestling doesn't stop.
Because it was like one after the other, and like if you wanted to get away and not wrestle with them, you're running away from them,
and then they love that even more.
Yeah, Drake's old enough. He's 7. He's as fast as I am. I can't run faster than him. And so he's just able to catch up. And so that's why you have to throw them 10 feet away to give you just
enough
a little bit of a break. It was a great time. I love wrestling with kids because I can beat them. And
it's like the Mitch Hedberg joke. He's like, I wish I could play Little League now. I'd kick some fucking ass.
It's too true. It's too true.
All right, we got a big episode for you guys, so we are going to get kind of into things pretty quick here because you're in for a treat of an hour and 14 minutes of
so far
segment and whatever else. This is a long episode. Here we go. So, all right, you guys can follow. Wait. I need to get to the right stuff here. You guys can be a patron, like our new patron. Fuck, I gotta get to the. There we go. Like our new patron. Anthony, I think it's Foglia. Thank you, please.
He can't even read.
Anthony Foglia.
Welcome to a meat forest.
That sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
There we go. You guys can be a patron just like Anthony. Thank you, Anthony, for becoming a patron by giving $1 or more to Patreon. Well, to Patreon, that's us. That helps support everything we do, everything we're doing here. $5 or more. Well, the $1 or more gets you in the Discord. $5 or more gets you proxies if you so choose each month. And the higher you go on the tier level, the more proxies or foil cards you can get as well. The other thing it does, it helps us do these giveaways, which because we had such a huge month last month, it broke the record. We are doing the big giveaway of giving away Boseju on Twitter, and then also doing the battle boxes. So here's kind of a key thing, just a side note to all you people that are $1 patrons, besides the people that aren't patrons, up yours to $5 just for the month, because you're automatically going to be in the draw. You're going to be battling. Yes. Do it for a month and then get out of it, and then you can go back to your $1 if you want. That's totally fine.
Just forget
and stay $5.
I do.
But just a little pro tip: if you're a $1 patron, just be a $5. If you're not a patron, just be a $5 for a month, and you get in. We're guaranteeing everybody's name to get drawn, and we will battle that live. You guys can see us battle.
Hold on. What if that works? What if that pitch works and we get like 30 new patrons at $5 or more for the month?
Then we got to buy more boxes.
We got to
buy more boxes. So if we get 30, 40, 50 people, we'll get more boxes.
If you're questionable and you want to potentially win a pack, just toss it in.
Your name's going to get drawn. You're going to be
drawn. If you buy
drawn,
packs,
guaranteed.
This is very similar. You could either win 2 packs or, like most packs, open nothing and just be super disappointed.
Garbage.
That's going to be what this is like.
And it's set boosters. So there's a lot of big bonuses with the set boosters. You could get some of the list cards. Yeah, but there's
you saw my set booster box, I'm not really pitching us very well, but...
But no, that was a very good pitch.
You're going to hope I didn't pick your name. That's all I know.
So there's multiple angles to this. If you're $1, if you're already a patron and you're $1, bump it up to $5 at the end of before the end of the month. If you aren't a patron, if you only want to do it $5, just throw $5 at it. You're in the lotto, and your name's going to be on there. We're going to be doing this live. Open these packs, and you could potentially win 2 packs. So, and it's the top 5 cards out of those packs. So that is the financial way. That helps us with everything we're doing here, cameras, whatever, giveaways. That helps us pay for that. Helps us pay for SmithCon, which some of you know that if you're a part of the Discord. Some of you don't. You will find
Most
out
of you
that.
don't.
Most of you don't, but you will find out about that.
But if you get on the Discord, you can kind of check it out a little bit. But we're not going to tell you.
So that is the financial way to support the show. The free way to support the show is to jump on YouTube. First off, subscribe. That's all you got to do. Subscribe. If you want to support us a little bit more, maybe watch some of the videos. There's a couple videos we have going on. We have the podcast going on. We have Curated MTG, which is twice a week. And this week's Monday's edition was
Aether Barrier. It's a blue enchantment that whenever anybody casts a creature, they have to pay 1 or sacrifice any permanent.
And you did a little tricksy thing with that name title with tax season. It was pretty good.
I think that's why I did so well this week. It says pay your taxes.
So that's a pretty fantastic
it was
card.
Probably a good reminder for some of you.
Yeah, they were
out
like,
there.
What was your Friday Curated MTG?
It was Sigil Tracer. There we go.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. It was Sigil Tracer. It was the merfolk that when you can pay a blue colorless tap 2 wizards, doesn't have to be it. You get to copy any instant or sorcery, and you can, choose new targets, not copies, but targets. And it's a sweet card. It should be played more. It's kind of expensive. It's not necessarily budget, but even though it's not played in a bunch, but it's pretty sweet. If your commander is a wizard, you could consider this in just anything. Just saying.
Yeah. Just saying. So those are curated. Those are the shorts. If you guys can just watch those through, it only takes a minute. That's all you got to do. You guys can make those go viral just by watching those. Just watch through it and give it a like, and they will go viral. That's all it needs. Some other shorts were Breaking Point videos. I did the Secret Lair stuff. I did release one on Monday as well, and that was the left-handed ones. So I know we did the Secret Lair stuff last week, like the big breakdown of us discussing. This is a minute long. telling you if it's worth it, breaking down the numbers. Check that out. Give it a like as well. Any of those Breakpoint videos. Also, Proxy Time, which is every Sunday at 9. Didn't do it this week. Missed this week. Not every Sunday. Most Sundays.
Yeah.
If you are following us on Twitter, which is another place you guys should be following us, you'll find out that I wasn't going to do it. And also, if you were part of the Discord, I did that as well. So, hey, I just got Twitter out of the way. I don't even have to talk about Twitter. I can just jump into our whole stuff. Some other videos. We had gameplay. We played some games last week, and Lowery's a big fat cheater and won that game. Oh, spoiler alert.
It's just called
infinite
winning.
Combos. We don't play infinite combos.
It wasn't an infinite combo.
Kind of was.
Yeah, because
in the game you're like, I needed your creatures. And then I looked at it later. I was like, you didn't need any creatures. You just needed your own. You can target your own stuff with Chatterfang, you bastard. But it was a 3-piece. It was a 3-piece. The game was about to end because there was, what is it? That artifact, the blue artifact that guy had out.
It's an enchantment.
Not enchantment. That
Mechanization?
10 artifacts he wins the game.
All right.
Mechanized production.
There we go. That's what I was saying. Totally.
It sounds like you're of son of.
I mean, this is the problem of recording the second part first.
Oh, this is fantastic.
This is not.
I don't know if I like Staple Verses more because we've been drinking at that point, or if I like the beginning of this segment more because we've been drinking. Maybe we need to start taking like shots before we even start this, just so we're at that.
Oh, I've debated
that,
but then I'm like, that's alcoholism right there.
Can you imagine if we took shots at the beginning, and then by the time we got to Staple Verses, we're just like, your cards.
But at
worst.
the same time, it's kind of like, well, people can tolerate us and enjoy us even when we're super drunk. That is. It's not the best rationale. So
okay, so that is we do that with the Discord. That was a Discord game we played. We have been doing it at least once a month. We might up the frequency, Kevin. Potentially, we'll see. It's at least once a month. Reference. We'll see how everything goes. It's a song, things. Anyways, Discord games, live stuff. We're doing a lot of live stuff, so you guys can check that out on YouTube. That's where we are there. I already talked about Twitter. If you guys want to submit things like maybe the suggestions for Stump the Smith Savant, you guys can check out or email us at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. And like I said, that's where you can send the suggestions for this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant. Wait.
What?
It's time for everyone's favorite game show.
I know what it is. I just don't know the name. It doesn't count. I've gotten 2 in a row so far.
Oh,
yeah.
Cocky McCocker pants right here.
Yeah, not gonna fare well for me now.
Yeah, we're gonna lose this round. All right, AJ, get ready. You're gonna win some cards here, or a card here. All right, if you guys don't know how this game works, I'm going to read the flavor text of a card. Lowry is going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, you'll hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, you'll hear this.
Wrong.
He will get up to 5 wrong guesses before he is considered stump. The stumper for the week is AJ, and he will win all the cards that are in the ante. Right now, we have the Otawara on the line. Every 4 weeks, we add another card to the ante. So it keeps adding up the more that Lowry gets right. The only stipulation is this card needs to be in at least 5,000 EDH rec decks. And a bonus thing, if Lowry can guess everything about the card but the name, if he can say the casting cost, what it does, whatever, he will also get the initials. I will give him up to 3 clues, and that is it. All right, you ready? This week's Stumper AJ, like I said, and here we go. The curse is broken. The curse is broken. I'm sure that helps a lot.
No, I mean,
it's like, well, normally you're like break down this and break down that. This normally comes from this this set and all that.
Okay,
curses are from this set. Just kidding.
It's not about curses per se, like the enchantments. It is about Garrick. because he had the chain veiled curse placed upon him. And so this, know what it is. I just can't think of it.
I know what it is. I just don't know the name. Oh,
That's what it feels like. Okay, let's try and like break this down a little bit. Okay, so I'd have to try and get this up. Is Garrick in the art?
Hello, boobies.
Okay, I know the card. All right.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, so this is.
Damn it.
It's a green card.
Hello, boobies.
I'm just gonna start saying stuff, and you need to start fucking. Okay, it's an instant.
Boobieing it up.
Wrong. Hello,
Whoops,
boobies.
sorry, no, it's not a wrong.
Motherfucker,
Sorry,
you're gonna.
It's not a wrong. It's not a wrong.
Hello, boobies.
Hello, boobies.
It is 4 and a green.
Hello, boobies.
It is. There's 2 options on it. It is draw cards equal to the highest. That part might be finicky, but it is all your creatures get +3/+3.
Wrong.
There might be specifics there, but it's.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's okay. So I'm going to stop there. So it's roughly. I do want those initials though, but it's roughly all your creatures get +3/+3, or you draw cards equal to the highest power. But it might be so there's the specifics there. It might be target creature, which you would be choosing the highest power, or it's like all your creatures get +3/+3 that are attacking, or all your attacking creatures get +3/+3.
I can't give you any hints. That's the crazy thing.
I know.
You went
So,
through
like,
all the
there's-
3 things.
So there's like these specifics that I'm not entirely sure, but I know what is.
Oh, I guess I can. There is one thing that might help. If you want a clue. You've guessed a lot. Do you want a clue?
So
or do you want to try to do this without a
I'll
clue?
take the first clue.
All right. I switched it up. I went with the text first because I thought having the art would give it away too much.
Sure.
So
sure.
the art was
He's
second.
fucking orgasming. Like,
Well, no, I just was basically talking about a character that we talk about his appendages a lot. That was my
Yeah.
second clue.
oh, okay.
The text features either drawing for power or an overrunning effect, both excluding the most common creature type.
Okay, so it's non-human. Is it non-human?
For all that's yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, boobies.
So, tell me what those are, and I can give you the. Because you got everything else, you just need to put what the text is together, and I can give you the initials.
I'll take the
So
second
the
clue.
text features.
Oh, the second
either-
clue is the picture of the appendage.
Yeah.
All right, let's
The
take the
text
third clue.
features either drawing for power
Yeah.
or an overrunning effect, both excluding the most common creature type.
Which is non-human. We already specified this. Well, give me the third clue. I'll just take that third clue.
This card is in 79,000 EDH rec decks. That's where I was saying this doesn't matter. Most used in Oberon Moldiah Ancestor. And I wrote, and it's not a planeswalker because I was figuring you.
Yeah.
Because by
looking
my
for
second
the-
clue being
Garrett Stone,
Garuk, you would have figured.
Okay.
You should be able to figure it out by that first one because you got everything else. Listen to that
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
The text
Okay.
features either drawing for power or an overrunning effect excluding the most common creature type, non-human,
Okay.
which you've
So
already
do I
established.
need to say it exactly, or do I need to?
No,
get
just
it-
like the gist of it.
So,
the gist
like,
of what.
all of your creatures get all your non-human creatures get +3/+3. That's one
Okay.
of the levels.
Hello, boobies.
All right. The second one is
The text
the-
features either drawing for power.
yeah. And it's
Both.
drawing for the highest non-human power you control.
Hello, boobies.
The initials, this is a long one, are R-O-T-W.
R-O-T-W?
R-O-T-W.
Rotwa?
I know what the card is, but I don't know the name. R-O-T-W.
Shit. Okay. So it's the first three are Return of the.
Hello, boobies.
W.
Shit. Return
Of the Mac.
Return of the Mac. Boy, oh boy. Okay. Return of the. That doesn't sound right. Return of the Walker? That doesn't sound. Return of the. Return of the. Why can't I remember this? Jesus Christ. Return of the. What else is he? What Return of the? Okay, well, okay, so I got one wrong so far.
Right.
It's
I've only
not-
given you 2 clues. I could make one up on the spot, but that's not what I have written down.
Yeah, nah, don't worry about that yet. Like
Yeah.
if I start struggling real hard. So I don't think it's this, but is W Walker?
Wrong,
Okay. Yeah.
wrong.
So I got 2 wrong so far. Return of the. What is Garrick? He is Return of the. God damn it!
I know what the card is. I just don't know the name.
Yep. Yep. I'm glad that you pressed that button. Great foreshadowing. Return of the. Okay, so it's 4 and a green, instant. Return of the. Wah. How about that? Is it
Wah.
wah? Don't do that. I'm just kidding. All right. So it's 4 and a green, instant, non-human creature. You draw cards equal to the power of a non-human creature, or all your non-human creatures get +3/+3. And the what is the text at the bottom say? What is it?
The curse is broken.
lifted. The curse
Is broken.
And
Trying to
it's
think how I
Throne
can-
of Eldraine. I know I didn't say that, but I was half assumed. Sorry. Throne of Eldraine. All right. You know, the episode was almost going to be a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, you were about to guess it like without me giving clues.
Yeah.
And now we are 35 minutes in this.
Return of the.
Let's see.
Return of the. And it's not Walker. It's Return of the.
Okay, let me give you this one clue. The word breakdown, it's 2 words in a way. First part, or the words are, one is a Minnesota sports team, and the other part of the breaking into words is someone that is talking. So Minnesota sports team that starts with a W. It's a big fucking hit. A Minnesota professional sports team starts with a W, and then
Yeah.
the second part of the word is someone that talks a lot, or talks, or someone that is talking.
Return of the Wolf Blibber Blabber? I'm just kidding. No, please don't. It's not Blibber Blabber.
Can you even think of our team? Are you that wasted? You can't think of Minnesota sports teams? It starts with a W.
Can I specify? Is this a statewide team that people care about?
It is a professional sports team for
Okay,
Minnesota.
Okay.
That's what it's.
All right. So not necessarily that the state would care about, but
Yeah.
has Minnesota across it. All right. So
It's a Minnesota professional. There's only like 4 of them.
Lynx. Wild speaker.
Hello, boobies.
I thought it was wolves.
That was just, I was like,
speaker.
you said wild, and it starts at the top of you. Oh man, that was I don't know, the most insane.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know it had split the second one up. I was like, well, it's a Minnesota sports team and Lynx.
No, I totally thought it was wolves.
Wild.
I forgot about hockey.
Is it one that anybody cares about? Well, I mean, yeah. They just
that's why I was thinking wolves. Because nobody cares about them.
Lowery. All right.
I'm
AJ,
sorry.
I feel bad. I had to give extra clues. I gave extra clues that weren't normally written down. I don't know if that's like a thing that helps us with the name stuff, because that sometimes is a bit like if you can get the initials and you still have a clue left, I could make up a clue on the spot, and that
We can
might
make
be
that up as we're
helpful.
going to make
Yeah,
this
'cause that-
like legitimate. I'm okay with that.
That at least makes it so if you can get all the way there without actually, because you had the crazy thing is you knew off of the curse is broken, like what the card was. You just I know what the card is. I don't know the name. You had it all the way to that
the
point.
reason why this works is because you press the button. This isn't Stump the Smith Savant. This is I know the card, I just don't know the name. And
that is
for
the new
that,
name of
I
this show.
passed. Fantastically.
AJ, I don't think you necessarily have to send us a card, but we would like it if you did. You can send us the Return of the Wild Speaker, which is a fantastic card. The funny thing is, I got AJ on here. I'm tweaking Akiri, as you know. This is one of the cards that's going in there because Akiri is all on the front part of her.
Sure. Yeah. That's
so
true.
this is like a fantastic card to add in there. So anyways, you guys can submit those as well. Like I said, 5,000 EDH rec decks or more. Send it to our email. That is the best way. Or if you're part of the Discord, send it to me, not to Lowery. That'll give him an advantage. So don't do that. All right. So that is that segment. Now we're going to jump over to Trombley and talk about how it is to be a douche and a heel. I mean, just a heel.
Wow. There are 2 different things. We will discuss that then. Or kicking into Trombley.
That's how we're doing it then.
Is it?
All right. So we are joined
It should not
by
be.
Mr. Trombley himself. For the longtime listeners, Trombley was our first guest on the CommanderSmiths. And can you guess how far back that was? Either of you know how far back that was? Like what episode?
That was a long time ago.
Double digits within the first year? Like maybe episode 38.
It was 77 was the first episode that we had a guest. We had 77 episodes before we had somebody.
That was a little less sophisticated too. Didn't we record that at my kitchen counter?
We did.
Yes. And the special side note to that one, that was the one where Lowery was getting hammered halfway through and I was getting pissed off because I was pissed. Like I had to
super pissed. Yes. I forgot about that.
I had to cut so much because I was just being a dick back to Lowery because I was getting so annoyed. Like that's the only episode we have where we were like, there was just this bad, because we had just got done playing, didn't we? I think we played Magic.
I think we played 10 hours of Magic. Everybody else went home, and then we did the cast afterwards, and Lowery was shit-faced.
Yeah, he was shit-faced and he was like, just talking shit. Like, oh, it kind of fits well with what we're about to do here, because you like turned into this huge heel where you're just like, maybe build a better. Oh, wait, here we go.
I would just say build a better deck.
There you go. That's pretty much what it was. And I remember I probably cut out the most I've ever cut out of our podcast, Lowery, because because I was being a dick back, and I was like, wow, I sound like an asshole because I'm pissed.
Well, I mean, like, okay, so this is a good reason why we're having this conversation. Like, I was being a dickhead. I was being a cocky dickhead, and that's okay. Like, we're going to be talking about how to be a heel, but you want to do it the right way. And I was drunk enough, and I really didn't realize I was being like really being mean to you or making you mad. I was just trying to be funny and be a cock, be the heel, but I wasn't. Part of it is a little bit is like recognizing that it's not working.
Right. It's a little harder to recognize when you're drunk.
When you're drunk, that's what I was saying. The social cues were not there anymore. Like, Adam is pissed right now. I'm just gonna keep going at this. And I remember Trombley, we talked later after that, and you were like, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, is this how a podcast? Like, how does this work? Because you could tell there was like something going on, and you're just like, this is weird.
It's like mom and dad are fighting at the dinner table. I'm just like, I'll just keep eating.
Oh yeah, because it was a spotlight deck of yours. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Kalia, right? Because that was the first guest, and you guys were still doing spotlight decks all the time.
Yeah, and I think Lowery was going through every single card, and I was like, "All right, that's enough. We're not going through all 100 cards. Yes, it's a basic land. We're not going to talk about that, Lowery."
I remember because we did prep work. We broke them up at least into like what kind of cards they were, and into like 7 different sections. So we were just going to briefly talk about this card type. This were the ideas of the deck, and then Lowery instead was like, "Well, let's look at every single card in here."
I think deep dive. Like a 2.5 hour episode or something ridiculous. It was
Let's cover 90 cards.
If you guys want to find a funny episode, go to 77. You'll hear the first time that I actually sound really pissed off, and I even cut out a whole bunch of that. But it was still fun. It was an experience of having 3.
I think the spotlight's boring, but if you know the context of you two being mad at each other, it's super funny.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been funny if we had video at that point.
I wish we still did spotlights, but we do that on the YouTube.
We do.
Plug.
We do.
Go check out our YouTube.
Yeah. We're past the tags already, Larry. Remember, we're going.
That's true.
We're going back to that. All right. So what are we doing today, Larry? You said we're doing this. You kind of actually had this idea. You're like, hey, I think it was a few weeks back or about a month or two, and you're like, hey, we should do like a heel episode and get the best heel in the world that we know of, Mr. Trombley himself, and kind of do like an interview almost. And then I don't know why did we just decided to jump this in here, because it's kind of nice to get this in before.
We had that like how to be nice episode.
Oh, that's a good point.
A month ago.
Yeah.
And look, that's the best way to be. But we also understand that like there are tons of different personality types. And I don't know if we're not going to hit them all, but like there's a clear like Trombley has the heel personality. And I can even like, I remember like when we're hanging out those first couple of years that we've known each other for, I think roughly like 10 to 15 years now, which is crazy.
Is it that long? That's crazy.
It's at least a decade. Yeah.
And so, like I was not a heel at all. And after like a year or two, you kind of like rubbed off on me and I started cocking off and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. And everybody's laughing. Trombley, you're just like, no, that's perfect. That's great. Keep doing it. Like,
you know what's funny? I remember when you'd apologize afterwards and like, don't say something and then apologize afterwards.
It was, like, and so like you definitely like rubbed off on me, but I don't have any like method to the madness. I'm just like,
you're just a dick, and
off the
and
top,
then you
just
laugh
cock off and deal with the consequences. And in the episode that we did, 100 ago or whatever, I was pissing off Adam. I was just cocking off, which can get you in trouble with people in games, relationships or whatever. That's the big thing I think here is like it doesn't have to only apply to Magic games. And, Trombley, you do this in Destiny, I'm assuming, or other video games where you go live and shit like that?
I'll do it in video games. I've done it in real life with friends, just whatever we're playing, right? Like, I mean, we've hung out and stuff like that. I'll do it if we're playing darts or whatever, bags or whatever. It's just something I kind of developed and have done with friends. It makes it, we can go kind of into like the psychology of it, if you will. Sure. It doesn't matter what game I'm playing, it's not 100% that it's on that I do that all the time by any means. But it's something that's not exclusive to Magic.
Yeah.
So is it, like you just said though, is it like I'm very curious about this. Like, is that consciously like, you're like, all right, I'm going to be a dick right here. I'm going to do this and this and that. Like, are you always consciously doing that? Like, to me, it's like, that's Trombley. And
sure.
Then for when we were kind of having the pre-cast discussion, like, texting, you were like, I do this in other games and stuff. And then I was like, oh shit, this is actually kind of more of a part
deliberate
of your game plan. Yeah. And
sure.
I always just thought that was just your personality stuff. Although like it is different. No, but it is different though. Like in person when you're hanging out, it isn't, you aren't that way. There's a different when we're playing Magic where it's just shit talking the whole time. And like when somebody's coming after your stuff, you're like, you sure you really want it? You want to do that? You better watch out. You don't know what's coming. It's coming. But so is there a method to this? Like you actually plan this out? Like, do you know when you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes and no. I mean, no, do I have a plan? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But it just kind of goes with the vibe of the room. So I kind of have a couple rules for being a heel. A couple of things that I figured out, right? One, and I'm going to go back to this, is I'll kind of... The general thing I figured out about being a heel, I just kind of set the tone of this, is I realized through shit talking with friends, like, because a lot of people, any guy friends, right? And guy, girl friends, doesn't matter. Friends get together. A lot of times there's that. That people know we like to shit talk. You like to give each other stuff. And I figured out kind of where it developed was years ago. I figured out that games are more fun when there's like that rivalry going back and forth. But then I realized that the game itself is even more fun when I'm sitting there shit talking and then I lose, right? And so there's almost like an art to it, right? And when I have to sit there and eat crow, and I'm not joking, like
dropping plates. That's my favorite example of when you thought you had the game won. You're like dropping plates, and then Tyson
I did have
like,
the game won. I got fucking robbed.
It's like, whomp. Oh wait, no, actually you're dead, Trombley. You're like, oh fucking.
I don't know whatever deflection palm or whatever he did back.
I think it was deflection palm. I just died by that the other day too.
Yeah, it was something like that where all attack he was dead and he played one card. But it was just that I stood up, said dropping plates because it was the stupid term we had heard on the radio that morning. It was like an inside joke. So we were laughing about it at our drinking Magic game, and it said dropping plates. It was all victorious, and then.
Yeah, you stood up. Yeah,
I did stand up, and I was probably thrusting my hips or something like that too.
You probably were humping the table. I guarantee you were humping the table.
Because that was the heel moment or like that. And then what happens? And then Tyson, the best part is Tyson was a little more timid sometimes, and Tyson was probably like, "Can I do this?" And then of course he plays it, and then those are the moments, right? And that's what I'm getting at is when you as the heel lose. It is so much more fun for everybody else. And that's one of those things I notice is your friends and the entire table. The game is so much more fun then because there's like this community enjoyment that you guys weren't even in the game at that point, right? Had I actually.
Oh no! Yeah, I got knocked out. I got knocked out the turn before.
It was just those two. I think he won the game off that.
Yeah.
But had I won that game, it would have been just like if fucking Trombley won, right?
Yeah.
But at that moment. Everybody got to come together and revel in Tyson's victory because I got shot down, especially after cocking off like that, right? And so that is part of why I intentionally like to do the heel thing, right? Because it is part of it is my personality, part of it is I like to do that stuff. But I did recognize years ago that when you kind of bring that shit talking to the table and you do that and you can execute on that. It brings a lot of fun to the table as long as one of the keys, there's several keys, you have to be able to take it when you take the loss. You have to be a good sport about letting them give it back to you, right? So that's one of the things. So,
because if you get bitter about it, nobody's going to have fun with it.
Then you're just a poor sport.
Yeah, then they're gonna be like, then it becomes like almost malicious at that point. Like, hey, I'm gonna give shit to you, and I know you're gonna get pissed about it, and so like that can also like that feeds into some bad negative energy. And so if you
we
can
had a player
take
that we
it,
had
like you can
that we used to play with
it,
that had that.
Yeah, if you can take it as you can give it and being all in fun and positive about it, I think it really, like you're saying, it elevates the game. It makes things more memorable. It creates a contrast, but it doesn't necessarily create like conflict, if that makes sense. Like, it's still conflict where everybody comes together and enjoys that you lost.
Right.
But if you're pissed about it, then that makes everybody else feel bad
later
on. And then it's like, I mean, that's okay that he did that. He won. That's good. But like, so yeah, like you're saying, you want to create, like, you need to be able to take it to create good, positive feelings about it. Because if you were pissed about it, we wouldn't be talking about it right now.
Right.
Right.
And that's in that situation with Tyson, I'm sure I was annoyed. I'm like, I can't believe you just did that. Right. But all I can do is you smile about it and you're just like, that's bullshit. Right. Like, maybe I say it's bullshit, but as long as you say it with a smile on your face, or you're like, or even if I tell Tyson to fuck, I'm like, fuck you, Tyson. How dare you? But if you say it, in a fun tone, or you're smiling it off. But if I throw my deck and storm out of the room, well, then I just ruined the whole experience. Right. Like, you can't be a poor sport about it.
I gotta kind of jump in with that part and this might tie into other things like advantages and disadvantages of being a heel. One of the advantages, and I'm going to keep going with this Tyson story because there's another Tyson thing where you being the heel, he had you killed dead to rights, and you didn't realize it until I pointed it out when we were in a game. And I was like, I was still playing. I was like, oh, Tyson can kill you here. And then whatever. And then you're like, oh, fuck, he can. So you got him to flip from killing. And then that's when I actually like got pissed. I'm like, you're not fucking ready for tournaments. That's where that came in when I yelled at Tyson. Because you intimidated him so much from.
Because I play politics. Because I play politics a lot. And I'm just like, don't let him manipulate Tyson. If you want to be his bitch, go ahead and do it.
and then he didn't attack. He's like, I'll pass. And I'm like, motherfucker, you got him dead to rights, and you fucking let him live. And you're not ready for tournaments, Tyson. And that's where I got pissed. So that was. I mean,
it's a funny story. Now I don't know how Tyson feels about that though. Like, he might feel kind of bad about it.
Well, keeps coming
I
up.
enjoyed the entire experience. While we were in it, I was enjoying it.
I think I ended up winning that game, but that turn when he let you live, I think it's probably a card we're talking about in a little bit. I feel like it was a Tristani. No, your Tristani deck's newer. But it was a deck where your tokens were about to go crazy. Like, if he let you, once he said go, you just went and just got right back in the game. But I think the game went on. It was another like hour and a half, 2 hour long game where he had you dead right there. Yeah. And I lost my shit. And that's one of the few times in a Magic game where I just lost my shit. And I was like, that fucker manipulated him. That little heel right over there. God damn it. You're good at that, though. You get people. So that's what my question is. What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of being a heel? Like, you kind of mentioned it earlier. I guess disadvantages is you become a target a lot of times, but at the same point, certain players, they might not attack you because of the way that like you do that threatening or whatever, and might get kind of scared off from actually going after you because they don't want you to start talking smack or coming after them.
I can, and I think and you guys can speak to this as the heel player. I have this reputation too, rightfully so. I think as in partly as heel it kind of feeds into it as a kind of a revenge player too, right? Like if you hit me on a turn and I didn't like the way that went, I'm like, well, I don't care if it's the smartest play on the board necessarily. And then I'm like, well, I guess you just became fucking enemy number one. So I don't care about 3 other players right now. And to anybody who has obviously anybody listening who doesn't play with us or in person, I say that out loud at the table.
Yes.
Like these aren't.
It isn't like hidden. It isn't like, well, obviously he's just coming after this person now. It's like, no, I know this is not the smartest move, but I'm coming after you.
Yeah, I think out loud a lot. That's the thing. I think out loud a lot. And like as someone's like looking at my cards, I'll say that too. I'm like, why are you looking over here? Don't fucking look over here.
Yeah,
you know, that's part of the heel stuff.
That is a typical Trombley line right there.
So it's a lot of banter, but I guess it does come down to one of the positive negatives. Is it intimidating? Possibly, but one of the negatives I could say for sure is it could definitely come across the wrong way, right? And so and that's something that can be concerning. Because I don't want to be that player that is a huge dick or anything like that. So with you guys, if I'm playing the heel intentionally, you guys absolutely know that I'm screwing around or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But in the playgroup stuff like that, you guys are constantly bringing on new people, inviting you, and there's new faces coming in to play in person and stuff like that. So it's like every time we get together or whatever, once a month, something like that, there's usually like one new face at least that or something like that. And so in those situations, kind of have to be careful when you're playing with people. So like the whole heel thing is, I do it with people I'm comfortable with more. And it's not to say you can't, but it's like you wouldn't want to go to an LGS and start doing that with a bunch of randoms, right? Because then you're just an asshole.
You would piss everybody off.
You're just an asshole, right?
That would be.
Like I can pull it off with you guys and the playgroup for the most part because people know my personality and like it's just Trombley, that's the way he plays, right? Like that because we're friends.
But it's enjoyable.
Like
it does enhance the play experience in my opinion. And I think I totally agree. Like it's harder to do it with people that don't know who you are, that you're not comfortable with, because of you don't know how they're going to react. So I think. I think this is a personality that you could take on if you know the people. And I think also if it's something that you're kind of attuned to, you know what I mean? So like using an example that nobody else knows, but like it would be weird if Tyson became a heel.
Sure.
Yes.
That's not really his personality type.
He's a quieter guy. So yeah, it'd be kind of out of character.
And so like, it makes sense, like, if you want to be the heel because this sounds fun or whatever, and you don't have that personality type, like, you kind of do need to realize that, because a quieter, softer spoken guy that talks shit just a little bit, it kind of sounds like you're bitter almost. And so, like, you can maybe work on it and tell people, like, hey, I want to talk shit a little bit more. Like, maybe you can have that conversation rather than just
doing it,
sitting on it and doing it and being like, I'm kind of trying something. This kind of sounded fun, because it is a personality type, not just something that you want to try and do. And I was thinking that if you're somebody that likes to do that, like, quote unquote, like devil's advocate style of like arguing, I think that this could play into a personality type that would really work for you if you haven't really done it yet. Because it is still like, you're still having fun, a little bit like Staple Versus, where you're just like kind of talking shit, but you're not really being serious, and you're able to pull it off and be fun with the people that you're comfortable around. I think that it can be really fun to go into. And it is hard. Like, it took, example of me at the beginning when we were hanging out, I would talk shit a little bit. And
then apologize.
Because
You would apologize. That's the best part is you would apologize after.
I'm so sorry. I didn't really mean that.
I still apologize.
Not as much anymore.
You weren't a part of it, but like during the Essex game back in like August.
Oh God, that
during the summer, I apologized so many times while laughing and still talking shit. Like, oh, you guys should have had more things out, but I'm so sorry. So like, I got in a lot of trouble the next couple of games. Nobody liked me.
You did. That's what happens.
And so like, I think Trombley, I think you do a really good job of being a heel where, like, it's fun and people don't take it super hard. And then like, I still struggle with like making sure that people don't remember it 10 minutes, the next game. Because I think people accept what you do, And they're like, okay, that's just Trombley. And then when I talk shit a little bit, it's like, oh, Lowery's being an asshole. He's funny. He's being fun with it, but he's an asshole. We got to get him.
Well, it's just fun to go after Lowery.
That's a different, that too. Killsmiths.
So, and there's a reason too, in all seriousness too, for you guys, why it'd be a little bit harder to be a heel. There's two things I want to say about that. One, there's a reason why it's a little bit harder, but two, I want to circle back to what you said is about you being a heel is Lowery. When we met, I would have never pictured you being a heel, but in the play group, you were probably like the next heel, and it's because no one else really tries. But but in the play group, you were like the quiet heel that there are games where you don't try in any way or something like that. But yeah, then you'll come out and you'll make those like sarcastic comments and you'll do those things. And
it really comes out when he's winning games. When the winning games come out, his dick is out and flopping on the table because he's just like, come on, come at me, bro, and you just turn in his big cock.
He gets this. You get this confidence, and that's when you start, and that's what, and it's hilarious. I love it, and my favorite part is lots of times when you do it, especially because the two of you sometimes are going at it, and you could see it irking Adam, and then that's when I get more enjoyment out of it. so usually at those games I'm like, I'm already fucked anyway, so I'm enjoying the show now.
The part that irks me is then we all get this like table of like, hey everybody, we're killing Lowery because he's won 3 games in a row. Let's go for it. And then number 2 just backstabs and then starts going after everybody else instead of fucking Lowery. The whole deal is go after Lowery, and then he changes and goes after everybody else.
This is what I'm saying.
There's a heel play right there. Backstabbing.
You're able to like. Did you hear the bitterness in Adam's voice right there? That happened 8 months ago.
We haven't played that many games in the last year, so I
played in December and like August, and it was August.
I still remember the one from like 4 years ago when me and you had a deal about killing everybody before we went after each other.
Yep.
And when you had the opportunity to, you're like, I was blocking. Somebody's coming all out at me, and you're like, kill Adam's creatures. And I was like, motherfucker, what the shit? They're not dead. You
are just exposing the silent pact that we had to Trombley, I believe. This was a guys' weekend up at Lutzen, and I was playing Brea, he was a Traxa, and he was like, hey, okay. It wasn't like a don't do anything, but it's like, don't actively hit me or like get me down, like make it fair type thing. And I was just like, kill a Traxa.
Hey, what do you think? How do you think AJ felt about that? Trombley was involved in that game, the Discord battle box.
That's true.
That was for like the championship, and you just stabbed him right in the back.
Stabbed him in the back. What? Lowery. So Lowery's not he's not a heel. He's just a backstabber.
Sorry, AJ. I'm sorry.
You're not the heel per se. The heel is more of the Trombley. You're the heel in the backstabbing variety. You're like, hey,
I don't
let's
think we
make
need
a deal.
To like, put labels
and
on
then
this.
When I can get out of this, stab you in the back. One question I do have for you, Trombley, is to be like a heel, does it mean you have to give wet willies when other people are playing games? Because that seems like a thing that happens to me all the time.
Yes. So yeah, it does to you and Jeremy. I don't know why.
I know.
I've never had one.
I don't know. Your ears look too dirty.
There's too much hair in there. You can't get your finger in there.
And extreme wax.
So depending on the mood I am, once I get in, so with my ADHD, if I start getting bored or if I'm moving around in person games for you listeners who have never played with me, I'll get up and start walking around, or if I'm going to grab a soda or something like that. On the way back, if I'm in the if Adam looks distracted, if Adam looks distracted or
my ears look very sexy right now.
If he looks like he's reading his cards, not paying attention, I like to give him a wet willy on the way back.
Oh no, I have my radar up when Trombley's in the room because I see all of a sudden this little aura of red beard come near me, and I'm like, Trombley's gonna fucking try to give me a wet willy. I know it, little bastard.
I mean, he's pretty good at it, but I get one through now and then.
Yeah, you do every once in a while.
Actually, I wanted to touch on quick on Lowery's thing, because he actually brought up a good point about, or you brought up, Adam, that when he plays the heel, he gets attacked like 3 times, like the next 3 games after he does a heel. That's actually one of the things that is one of the keys that I try to pay attention to on being the heel. If you are a heel, there's certain times to press it and certain times not to. Now, I like Lowery's approach because I think it's super funny to watch.
Yeah.
It's one thing to play the heel a little bit when you're winning. And you do need to do it when you win, like occasionally, and do that. But like, if you just keep playing the heel when you're winning, like you could still do it fun, but that's definitely going to make you a huge target, and that's exactly why Lowery gets killed for the rest of the night. Then, right? So you just win a game and you take the win. That's fine. But my point is, like, you know why lots of times I don't get targeted game after game? Because I don't win all the. Because I play the heel.
You win a lot, though.
Well, I win okay. Like, I'll win some games, but I don't. I'll play a heel, but I don't necessarily win that game in that game. And so no one really cares that you cocked out that game because you didn't win the game, right? Sure, they might. You guys might. You'll get, again. Comes back to you get satisfaction that you beat me after I was, talking smack and everything like that. But if you are sitting there relentlessly, even if it's good and fun, talking smack as the heel and you win, you should expect that the table might decide as a whole that you are the problem the next game, whether you are a problem or not.
Yep. I fully agree with that, and I fully expect it too, like for me personally. And I wonder if it has something to do with like consistency, like what you're saying. Like, I get this confidence boost and I start cocking off. It's like pride comes before the fall, like, type thing, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, I'm riding high, and then everybody's like, no, you come down here, you bring you down, and not in like a negative way, but it's just kind of like, oh, you're being a cock ass motherfucker. You're not winning the next game at the very least. And
then you win it, and then it gets worse.
That's not true.
That is true. That is true. Because then you're like,
you did have recently in the last year where you had like 3 to 4 games back to back to back, and it just got worse and worse. That's the one I was talking about with number 2, where we had a pact of all 3 of us. And
I do recall.
Okay, so I do think I've also kind of maybe like planned around that too. Maybe kind of consciously, subconsciously, but like, I go in and I know that I cocked off. I know that I'm going to be a target the next game. I'm like, okay. In the past, I used to bring out my lower tier deck and just like get stomped and be accepted, and like, but it didn't help. Because the next game, I was still kind of a target. So now I bring out a better deck to like compete a little bit more, because I know the heat's going to be higher.
Sure.
That's all it is. That's what I know. And so maybe I'm not going to stop doing it because it is enjoyable cocking off.
That's an interesting question with Trombley, with the heelness of everything, because you don't start off necessarily right away being heel. I feel like sometimes it starts like more of, you have something that you can do. So that's where I feel like sometimes it's part of your game plan in a way, because if it's a deck where you're behind and trying to catch up, you don't do it as much. You're more just like trying to get this deck going, more of like those games you might get frustrated because you're like getting mono screwed or something like that.
Yeah.
But the games where you're in it and you can see that you have a potential of winning or whatever, even if it's early mid game, that's when it starts, and then it keeps going. Like it starts early when it's those where you're in the game and you have a way of winning it. It begins early and then it keeps going throughout the game. And I feel like that's part of the game plan with that whole thing.
And you're totally right there. I don't force heal.
Yeah, you're not every single game just
right. And that's just, it's not like I just show them like, okay, heal on.
You're a dick. I hate you. I'm the best. You're the worst.
Human Torch. Flame on.
and part of the heal stuff too is even if my deck's not firing off, I just like to just trash talk. Even if my deck's not 100% on, it's just making little comments when you start to stir the pot a little bit when someone does something. I'm like, well,
your number one target is Jeremy.
I like to Jeremy. I'm like, maybe you should build a better deck. It's kind of like Lowery's, right?
Build a better deck.
Exactly. I'll use those exact lines or something like, or I'll throw it to you guys when mistakes made or when something dies. I'm like, geez, don't you guys have a podcast?
Yeah,
You know,
that is that is the newer insult of the last 4 years. Is like,
Yeah. Especially in the
You guys have a
beginning when there was
podcast?
only like 20 listeners. It's like, don't you guys
and you
have
guys
a
were
podcast?
all of our listeners, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we do something or something like that. So
Here, I
even
listen
if
to this podcast.
yeah. So sometimes I'll just throw those little subtle comments out, even though it's not really like I'm not ramping up or doing anything. It's just kind of stirring the pot and feeling I'll throw like feelers out there. You know what I mean? And like part of it is you want to bounce it back and forth too. Like if you throw a comment like that out there, if I throw that to you, Adam, and I don't even get a smirk, not that you're gonna laugh at that comment. You've heard that comment too many times. But if you have like looking at the subtlety on your face, if it's just a straight face and you seem annoyed at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna push that right now. Like maybe
he's not in the mood right now.
He's in a bad mood. I'll move either onto another person, or maybe this isn't the game to be pushing that right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right?
that was you had another question I was going to say is like, when do you put out feelers? Like you just notice the table and you're seeing, certain person is kind of getting a little more agitated.
Yes.
And then I'm going to kind of cool it off a little bit or whatever.
Absolutely. So it's and to answer your previous question, I put feelers out, and then it is also dependent on like what I have for a game, for a hand in game, stuff like that. If I don't have anything, it's not to say I can't have fun if I don't have anything.
No, you definitely do that when you're out of it too, or you just like, I'm not doing anything, so I'm just going to talk shit to this.
Yes.
Normally it's Jeremy, because you just shit talk Jeremy like crazy. It's pretty funny.
And then for people who don't know, Jeremy's like one of my closest friends, so he's just the easy guy
he's
for me to immediately go to.
He's normally only there for 1 or 2 games because for some reason he plans something else for like 2 hours after we start playing Magic on our one night freaking month and a half. He's like, I gotta go hang out with Jackie tonight.
I think that tells you that he enjoys Magic, but not us. So he tries to get out of it.
No, I think it's Trombley gets under his skin too quick.
That might be that too. But yeah, there's those games too. Yeah, I don't have anything, and it's just like if I'm bored there, then I'm like, oh, I'll just start talking shit now. And those are the games where it's easy of revenge. I'm like, I don't think I have any chance in this game. Screw it, I'm just gonna fuck with someone because at least I'll find there. I'll do something in that because it's just like, all right, I'm not gonna win this game. I'm just gonna have fun in this game. And then you can have fun as a heel player doing that, right? Like if I think there's a chance, I'm like, there's no way for me to come back and win this game. But what I can do is I can ruin someone else's game right now. Right?
So that's it. You just went into like the next thing too. Is like it's not just talking. Part of being the heel, you can just be a douche in the game itself. Like you're like, well, I really can't do anything, but I just don't like you, so I'm gonna destroy that and that. I know I'm about to be dead anyway, so I'm killing this stuff of yours. And you do that where you've just like, let's just kill Lowery's thing here and Jeremy's thing here and. Well, it has nothing to do with the game, really. You don't need to do it at that time, but you're just like, I want to fuck with people.
Yep, and it's the wild card aspect, right? And part of my reasoning for that too is because I'm constantly and the early on stuff, as I've already said too, is like when someone's looking at why are you looking over here? If you touch my car, I'm gonna fuck with you. If you touch, you are my number one priority. I'll throw those threats out there, and then half the time, I don't follow through with it, right? But so later in the game, or sometimes it's like 50-50. Depends on what happened. What happens is you fucked with my thing, Adam, and I threaten you. I'm like, well, I'm going to fuck with you now, Adam. And then before it gets my turn, Lowery did something to mine.
That's what I was saying. ADHD is very nice with that. If somebody else fucks with you, then your attention's like, now it's to you.
So it's like, well, you just got to pass, Adam, because now you're fucking dead, Lowery.
I always love that.
Short fuse.
So by the end of the game, again, if I'm out of it, I'm just like, well, I had all those empty threats I wasn't able to follow through with earlier. So you know what? Let's cause some chaos now. And I do remember Adam annoyed me earlier in the game, and so did Lowery. So let's see if I can fuck up their plans right now, because I'm pretty sure they got some stuff going on. And so, you know what? I get enjoyment out of that. If it just kind of, it disrupts the board, kind of creates a little, induces chaos.
So a question from a mutual person that you met and played with back in December, and he's from the Discord as well, but he was wondering if part of your plan is taking 10-minute turns as well to get everybody.
That was that just happened this week when we did the live stuff last week. They're like, Adam's taking a Trombley turn right now.
That's hilarious. Touche. Yeah, so that's from my ADHD. That's because if I don't really stop and focus, then I end up missing something and getting super pissed. So, But I like that idea of just strategizing to piss you guys off.
Just slow play everything.
I think when you get to that point, that's your you've turned that off. That's the I'm trying to win, because you do that where you're the heel to a point, but when it gets towards the end of the game and you're trying to win, you turn into this focus. It's more of a focus thing, and that's where the turns can last a long time. And
they do.
Everybody.
I think, but I take exceptionally long because I'm trying real hard not to miss anything. So
yeah. Well, but you do turn off the heel at that point, and now you go into, no, I have this win. I can see it in my hand. How do I figure this puzzle out? And then the heel's just gone for the rest of the game. Then you're serious, because then it's a different kind of thing. You start pacing around the table. That is another signature Trombley thing, is you are no longer sitting at the table. It is walking around.
Yep.
So that's not a heel thing. That's more.
This is the part that I think is maybe tricky, and we kind of talked about this in texting a little bit, but like, you have a competitive nature as well, and this is like when you're like, okay, this is when you're dialing in, and there's that competitive part that comes into it as well, because like. This is Commander. It's really hard to win every game. There's 4 players. It's chaotic. There's a lot going on. But then, and so like a lot of people go into going like expect to win all the time, and you just can't.
No.
And
if
so
you're
like
doing that, people are going to want to play with you.
Yep. But like when you turn that on and when you get competitive, that is when like I think that's a good thing to like turn that heel off.
Absolutely. And you have to then.
Because if you're cocking off and then you're competitive, and that's where like a sore loser can come into play. And that's, again, like in my memory, there are times where you have gotten competitive, like all of us, all 3, 5, 6, whatever the group is, you get competitive and then you lose, and you're not necessarily sore loser about it, but you're not like, fuck yeah, I lost.
Yeah.
Either. Like, it's just like, God damn it.
And Adam can speak to this even outside of Magic. I can get extremely competitive in things I play. Adam and I have played soccer together for years, and we play volleyball and stuff like that. And I get competitive in Magic too, and it is not my best look. I will fully admit. Like, I like to play things, and when it's not going well for me, it's not my best look, and I'm well aware of my deficiency there, and I don't like it. And it's something I try to work on. And so you're right. I do try to. It's something I try to set. You absolutely have to separate that from the heel, right? So like I said, Adam's seen it in soccer when I'm in goal and letting goals in, I'm punching goal posts and things like that, and it looks like I'm throwing a tan. It's like get super frustrated. But you guys have seen it in Magic too, where I get pissy and almost a little pouty when things aren't going my way, and I recognize it afterwards, and I do not like that look on myself, right? But my point is, that is not the time. Like, if you're getting competitive, those are the times you can't be playing the heel, and I'm well aware of that. The second I start getting competitive, I stop shit talking. If I'm taking the game serious, because I'm and I think that's an important distinction I want to bring up. Like, is if you're trying to be competitive, it's not the time to be the heel, right? Because then you're just trying to be serious and stuff like that, and that's the time where maybe you cross a line. The idea of being the heel is purely about just being fun, right? Because I think it would be far too easy especially when I'm being real competitive, to make a snide comment or for me to the way I react to something, or being like you said, just almost being like a little sore loser the way something, if it didn't go my way, and then all of a sudden it just ruins the whole mood at the table, right? And so you have to, if you want to do the heel thing, you have to have fun with it. It's all about it having fun. You can't take it too serious.
For sure.
And have the social cues to know that when people aren't having fun with it, and that's what you're saying. Like, if you're not a person that can recognize that people aren't having fun with that, you just don't do it. But one more question and that might not be the last question, but fuck. Now I just completely brain farted what I was going to ask you. Oh no. So you were talking earlier, this is going back a little bit, when we have the new faces that come in, do you ever say to them that, hey, this is just I just do this for fun, I'm just shit talking?
No.
Or do you just don't do it at all? Or do you gauge it? Like, how do you go about when you meet new people and you're in the play group like that pod and playing? Like, how do you bring that out?
That's actually a great question. I actually have a strategy.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I actually have a strategy for that too. So it's easier, like, let's say, it's easier, especially if it's a group, if we're, let's say, you're a 4-person group. Let's say it's the 3 of us and we have 1 new person. We've got Bob playing with us.
Bob?
Yeah,
I don't know Bob.
Exactly, because he's new. But so it's easier with a new person if I'm in a play group where it's a larger ratio, right? Like, again, like I said, I wouldn't go to an LGS and do it where I'm outnumbered 1 to 3 because no one knows me.
Yeah.
And even a 50-50, I could do 2 new people there, but actually it wouldn't be 50-50 if it's just if it was just me and you, Adam, and the 2 new people. It's still so it really. If it's a 4-person group, I almost need 2 of you to be people that know me and people that get the heal thing. And in that situation, what I would do is I almost exclude that person. And it's not to say I exclude them. I talk to them normally, like I would talk to anybody.
You don't pick on them with the shit talking.
Right.
You go towards the people you know.
Exactly. And so I'd let them see the interaction naturally. And so it's more like... I talk to them normally as I would like anybody new and get to know them, let them see that I'm a nice guy, or hopefully they think I'm a nice guy, but just, a normal conversation, like, like I would with anybody that's new there, get to know them, talk to them, and let them make their own judgment. But then when it comes to the heal part, if it's the 2 of you, then I'll turn on the heal and it's just directed at you 2. And I purposely leave them out of it. So that way they see it's just fun, and I almost... you almost put on an extra smile when you're making the comments or something like that, or you overemphasize the fun of it, so that way they can see like, okay, these guys are A friends, they're just fucking around, this is just a good time, even like maybe that's the time I walk by and give you wet willy and be like, okay, these guys are just goofballs who've got like inside jokes and stuff like that, so this is not a serious thing. So you kind of want to establish like this is like a kind of a bond and a thing that goes on, so that way they're not intimidated by it. That
makes sense. Larry, was there anything else? I don't know if you guys do we want to wrap this up and get into my last thing was like more of like, you kind of talked about it, Larry led off with it with Destiny stuff. Is there other areas where you do that kind of thing where you're a heel with it, or it's just the competitiveness you were talking about earlier?
I do the same thing with my buddies in video games. I literally.
But aren't you normally like in those games? Aren't you normally like on a team together?
Yes and no. We'll play games where we're on a team together, but we still, but we do play PvP games where we're playing against each other. But even when we're playing together, we still like to
player versus player.
Exactly.
There still.
Yeah,
sorry.
you're a gamer. But
I'm not.
Oh, Lowery.
But even in like a game like Destiny, where we'll do raiding and stuff like that, we have a lot of fun. And doing shit
like if somebody's not doing as well shooting or something.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
pick on each other all the time.
God, I sound like an old guy who just like when you're targeting and shooting with the bullets and stuff.
Yeah, and so we'll pick on each other all the time in there, and so I give it plenty there and kind of get things stirred up in there. But in the same time, I do the same thing in there. Is after I get things rolling, once it gets rolling, I take just as much shit as I give, right? And that's the key to having good laugh with everybody.
So the key I take away from this is when you're not winning and you're shit talking, or when you're shit talking, you're not actually in position that you're winning.
That's good to know.
Once you've gotten serious, then we know that Trombley he has something in his hand.
You got my towels.
I got your towels now.
That was the whole point of this episode.
Yes, excellent.
I don't think it was
he fell for the trap.
I don't think you needed to have me on the podcast to figure that one
Yeah.
out.
All right. Do we want to move on to the staple verses? Do you think we're good for that, Lowery?
Yeah.
You got any more?
Yeah, I think I'm all right.
You got any more
I'm sure
things
we
you
missed
wanted
stuff.
to say,
Like
Trombley?
it's a fun conversation, but it's
I'm glad we got to have you back with that.
Yeah.
That was kind of a perfect episode.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again. This has been fun.
All right, let's see here. Okay, there's my button. It's going to be loud. Here we go.
Excuse me, I believe you have my stapler.
Fight.
I've only listened to this for like months and months. I don't remember the stapler part. I'm sorry.
What?
Forget
I
the
can't hear
stapler
anything
part.
you were saying. It's so loud in my ears.
Is
and
it?
then when I'm editing later, I hear
reasonable.
you talking. I was
That's
like, oh,
okay.
Lowery is saying something then.
Yeah,
So I didn't
just
even
be
realize
really
it.
disappointed in Lowery. That's fine.
All right. If you guys don't know how this game works, we have, well, this time we're going to have 3 cards, but we normally have 2 cards. Sometimes they're staples, sometimes they're not. Last week we did 2 staple commanders, mill commanders, and you guys had a chance to vote on that. Oh, I better get the crown right. Oh, I'm not giving my tell yet.
No.
Okay, so last week.
Everybody
Wait.
I saw was like, fucking Fanex is way better.
So
Then
quick
Bruvac.
question. If I win, does that mean you have to have me on next week so I can wear the crown?
I won't know until like, well, I guess I'm supposed to have a time frame of when I'm supposed to have voting end.
We'll get you a crown. You can put on a crown, take a picture, and then
Or
we will
I want you
put
to
a
put,
very
like-
small picture.
Or I want like a little doll or something behind Adam wearing the crown that represents me or something.
I'm all right with that. As long as it's
So,
behind
okay,
Adam.
so really quick, where do you think that this one ended up? Like, okay, Trombley, just so you know, did you send Trombley the staple verses of last week's
I
mill?
watched
no,
right.
it wasn't. It
Okay.
wasn't that one. It was the week before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I watched
Week before. So last week's was mill. So it was Fanex. Trombley, if you don't know what Fanex is offhand, it's the god. It's black and blue. I used to have that deck. I still do. I just haven't played it
Just
since.
don't play it,
I think
yeah.
your house actually was the last time I played that. Against Bruvac, which Bruvac is a double mill commander.
Yep.
Where do you guys have an inclination of where you think that would turn up? Which one do you think would win out of the 2?
Bruvac by 60%.
And I'm probably at Bruvac just with like the experience of it. Like at the very least, your Bruvac deck is much more aggressive and it affects the whole table. And I've beat
'Cause you've seen
Fanex.
both. You
Yeah,
both
I've
have
seen.
seen
Yeah, Fanex like allows me. It allows enough time for me to like get whatever reanimation strategy I have going on. For your decks at least, it's a little bit slower. And so I would say Bruvac. I think I'll go 60-40 as well.
So to give you an idea, this was 46 to 54%. Like this is how close this one was.
That was close.
So here's the crazy thing. YouTube, which is our by far most voting of everything, was 50-50. 50-50.
Yeah.
Discord, fucking Discord, and I didn't count late switch and voting.
No, the switcheroos don't count.
That ended up at 56% in Fanex's favor.
See?
But Twitter,
No,
73%.
Twitter's a
bitch.
void.
73%. Yes, they still were low, but I win.
Twitter is our void. They don't even count. God.
Yeah, well, it counted this week. Twitter came through. All right.
Hold
okay,
on.
so
Hold on.
that is
Oh, good for you.
All right. Okay, so we have 3 cards this week. Well, let me introduce this. It's again commanders, and this week we're doing what more of token generating commanders, kind of doing a similar thing. And why don't you introduce what all 3 of these are? Trombley has one. It's one that he's built. I've built one, and Lowery, have you built this one that you're going to go for, or no?
No, I have not. Can you?
Well, you already
poser.
lose.
I'm the only
lose.
one that's just going by the seat of my pants. Do you know how to
You're a
spell it?
poser.
Never mind. I found it. There
Do
we
you
go.
even know if your card works?
I didn't even look it up. Okay.
You didn't even look it up. This is the first time I've seen this card. It's a horse of a different color.
You're disqualified. All right, Adam, it's between me and you.
Well, that doesn't even count because you're bad at this. So, all right. So I guess Adam wins next
You haven't
week.
e-
Good job.
You haven't
Good job
seen
for
Trombley do
DQing
this yet.
me.
How you
You
saying
don't-
he's bad
I
at
say
it?
you don't know
Trombley's
that
the
I'm
heel.
bad because I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Look,
He's 100%.
Tristani's. Look, okay, Tristani's not even good.
Don't even. No, you don't even.
Tell us that. Wait.
You're just
Tell us
go-
the cards. Tell us the cards.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah,
Me? Okay, we'll start with the best,
for an
which
early
is clear.
punch. We haven't even started the round. The bell hasn't even rang.
You're just interrupting me for interrupting's
Get out.
sake right now. I'm
Get
going to
out.
go with mine right now because it's the best. Garrett, Conclave Exile. It's 2, a red, a green, a white. It's a 2/5. When Garrett Conclave Exile enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 green rhino creature token with trample. Do either of yours create tokens when it ETBs? I don't think so. Also, when Garrett attacks, populate. That's just an attack trigger. That's not even paying any mana that some other people have to pay. And the token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. So it's aggressive. It's 3 colors, so I have more options. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
We gotta go with you
We don't
guys?
want your argument yet. We
All
need
right.
all the other commanders here. What we're
Okay,
dealing
so I
with.
got to read the other ones?
Yes.
What?
Or do you want us to read our own?
You don't. I mean, doesn't matter.
Go ahead, Trombley. Do you have yours pulled
Yep,
up by
I got 'em-
chance?
yep, I got
okay,
'em all
Trombley, you
pulled
go
up.
ahead. What is your command?
Okay, so I got Tristani, Silence's Voice. So it's if we're doing colors, it's green and white. Legendary creature, obviously, if we're doing commanders. Whenever another creature enters a battlefield under your control, gain life equal to that creature's toughness. And then for 3 mana, 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 white, you can tap it and populate.
All right.
Is that just
It's
like
2/5.
creating 1 token?
1 token.
All right.
But yours is creating 1 token as well.
Yeah. But at least a rhino is good, not some like little dinky 1/1 that they give everybody. Sorry. Okay.
It doesn't
His
even
isn't,
matter.
his isn't saying a 1/1. It's just saying
It
populate.
could be whatever, but more than likely it's
Yeah.
a 1/1. And
No,
so
Why is it a 1/1?
the next one that Am's going to be doing is Risk the Redeemed.
Hey, let me do
it's-
Rise my own. It's Rise
No,
the
I want to
Redeemed.
set the
That-
mood of just being super
Rise the Redeemed.
a dumper.
This
All right.
one is a turn 1 commander. It's probably one of the only turn 1 commanders that are out there because it's either
shit.
green or white.
Oh, shit.
So you can
You're gonna
cast-
play it
you can
turn
do either
1?
of
You
them.
don't even know how to
Hell
play
yeah,
the
you're
deck.
gonna play it turn 1. And then it's a 1/1. It's an elf warrior. Hey, this is a foreshadowing. It can be a elf tribal or any other tribal. You can tap 2 and
bunch
a
of
white or a
1/1s?
green and create another elf warrior. Or you can tap 4 and a white and a green and a white and a green. Create a token for every token you have on the battlefield. Not just populate.
You could say
It's
just like populate
every
for
token.
each creature you have in the battlefield.
Well, no, but that's not how it says it on
Yeah.
there.
but that's
doesn't
how
say
it could
populate.
be said.
It's 'cause
But
would
it
be more
isn't.
populate.
Could just be like
I'm even
populate.
looking at the errata
For sec-
tags and it doesn't
So
say it on
yours to populate multiple times maybe would be 6 mana.
there. So mine
at
comes out on
least-
turn 1. When
at
does yours
least
come out,
Tr- at
Lowery?
least
Yours is the
Tristani
worst out
takes,
of our
what,
out of
3?
our 3.
It's only
yours
3
is
instead of 6.
5 CMC and it's 3 colors. At least
Yeah.
What do
Trombley
you
and I
mean?
have 2 colors. You
Are
have
we
3
saying
colors.
that 3 colors is bad? 3 colors is a bonus. Because
We can
guess
get
what?
ours out
Mine is on
easier.
attack triggers, and
can't.
red allows me to attack
Oh.
multiple times in a turn, which
can't say
allows
which
me
one of
to
yours I
populate
hates more.
multiple times in a turn. It's aggressive in aggressive deck.
I think how this format needs to go down is that we have one person do their argument and the other 2 attack that person, and then we go to the
Okay.
next person to
Okay.
do theirs.
Okay.
Because otherwise, we're all
I
3
disagree
gonna go.
with
So,
Yep.
I disagree with this.
we're attacking you right now, Lowery. That is the that is the plan at
Look,
this point.
All right, so let's hear your argument for your garbage card.
What? I just did it.
That was it.
That was
If you
it.
get multiple
Oh, I'm
attacks
sorry.
in, which is a red thing that you're doing, you get to populate multiple times in a turn. How many times you populating, Trombley,
So wait.
with your life game
you're-
deck,
you're-
which is
you're
the least
counting
important thing to
on-
do in
you're
a
counting on
game?
other
Oh,
cards to make your
okay.
card better? Is that what
Is
you're
life
saying?
I don't
important?
need better cards.
I'm sorry,
I can
life
just
not
attack
important?
and create more 4/4s that are attacking.
But you're at 5 CMC, and yours doesn't have haste, right?
Look, I'm in a
you're
ramp
still
color
waiting a
with
turn.
green. You're in a ramp
still-
color and it doesn't matter.
You're still waiting a turn. Like by the time mine hits, I've already populated
mean?
so
What do you
many.
mean
My board is
waiting?
huge, and Trombley has already made multiple
I've-
creatures. He's populating the first turn it comes into play. All that fun stuff.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
That's
I know.
no, he's not. That's he also has to wait a turn.
I also have to wait. Yeah,
He's an artifact, not a creature.
if you're building that card around multiple attack phases, but otherwise it's garbage. The card is garbage. You're attacking with your 2/5 commander constantly. Like no one has a defense against that.
So if something can
they're
kill
gonna
that.
kill your commander constantly. The thing is, commanders like that might look. I don't want to say it's threatening because it's really not that threatening. But if you're actually starting to do something with it, it's just immediately gonna get killed. Then it's a useless commander.
Yeah, because it's a 5 CMC. At that point, it gets killed once or twice.
Like haste
You're
is
just like
pretty easy in a red deck, and so if I throw down a
wait,
5,
how many
assumptions?
How many assumptions are you playing with on your second turn? That you have haste,
multiple attacks,
tons
of assumptions.
And are you also bouncing that same turn also, so you can get several tokens?
So I also have a flicker effect.
Bounce isn't really a thing.
He means flicker.
Oh, flicker.
They also have a flicker effect, and it also has trample.
Thank you for helping me. Flicker is a really sweet effect in green, white, red.
So
I'll take that.
But you're gonna have all 3 of these effects by the second turn.
No, I'm a 5-color deck. I'm like a 5. Like
You're a
CMC,
5-color
like
deck
there's
now.
a lot
What?
of time to set up. That's why like Reese at turn 1 is dumb. I wouldn't play that at turn 1 anyway. You could have Reese at 3 or 4 mana and still be just as good. Because you're not playing it at 1 mana. You're not going to. You shouldn't.
We're
You're
talking
gonna go
about
like,
your stuff
ping,
right
I'm gonna
now,
go
buddy.
poke
Just
somebody.
wait.
The
we're just
early
talking about
game
yours
doesn't
right now.
matter.
No.
Early game doesn't matter.
On your turn 3, you have
Your
Reese
turn
and a
5,
1/1.
No, your turn
Who
5 and then your
cares?
turn 6 is not. You can't even do it right away.
No.
You're getting
Yours is a legitimate 1 and 3. Mine is a legitimate 3 or 4. Turn 3 or 4. Because
if your
you can't.
ramp is right. If your ramp
if
is
my
right.
ramp works, yeah. Can you hit my button, please?
No, it's pages back. I can't get back to it.
That's gross.
Just
Just
build a better deck.
Also,
Look.
everybody knows what you're trying to do. Every time you attack with it, it's gonna
get killed.
It's gonna get killed. Sure.
Everybody knows what you. It's a token deck. All of ours are token decks. Everybody knows what we're doing with token decks.
I know, but do you think your commander's just gonna magically get through unscathed every time? Like, oh,
Absolutely.
Okay.
If I'm attacking you,
Okay.
Because Trombley, you have to remember, he also can make it unblockable. So it has double triggers. It also can have flicker, and it also is unblockable.
Okay.
Plus, it probably has, it probably has that equipment that'll draw cards
it's
when it
probably
hits,
just
too.
indestructible. I enjoy indestructible.
Did you figure out a way to give it flying here? Also,
No, it's just unblockable. He just makes it
you're
unblockable.
right.
All I'm noticing is you two are coming at me because I have the strongest commander.
No,
Yeah,
let's
that's
dealing with the weakest
Look,
one first, getting it out
Who
of the way.
cares if Trombley has 200 life? We can when he doesn't have any other creatures, they just die, and he dies real quick after
200
that.
life, real quick. You can't do anything real quick when I'm at 200 life.
Real quick. You know what? I'm going to populate with my 1 attack phase, apparently. That's all I have.
Well, here's the thing. If your guy hits the battlefield and somebody just kills your 4/4 green rhino, and then you go to attack, you don't have a populate thing that's out there.
You're
It's
right.
not
No,
anything
I would
else.
definitely want to
Exactly.
put like
Wait, let's
Reese
hear
in there,
another
so I
thing
got
that's going to also be a setup for how good this
Okay,
how it's going to make
keep in
this
mind.
guy good.
Keep in mind, he also
So,
has room for
doubling
all his
season.
all his tokens, all his token generation that he's also
Yeah.
got in there.
I'd have
Yeah.
Reese in there
So
and
turn
only create a
4,
bunch
he's
of
got
little
all
fucking
these cards in
1/1s
there.
that don't matter.
Okay.
They're just a
He'd
bunch
have
of little
doubling
shits that
season
don't
out,
count.
along with parallel lives, and then he'd have all these token generators. He'd have both of our commanders in
That's
there.
the
I mean, it
problem.
fits the
I
colors.
would probably cut Reese, but Tristani has a shot.
All right,
Tristani has a shot. It's
all
a
right, so
good.
your
it's a
commander is
fine
garbage.
card.
let's go to
Commander's
Tristani.
garbage.
Let's go to Tristani.
I'm
Tristani,
not threatened by a 2/5 commander.
Tristani is at least
okay.
a 4 CMC. I will give that
White,
benefit
white,
there.
green.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah.
You're just only playing 2 colors at that point.
So
I'm not arguing for his. I'm
okay,
just,
so here,
feel like you
here's why
are.
here's why Tristani's better than both of yours. All right, so here's why it's hands down better than both of your choices. It's the unassuming commander. All right, it's the unassuming commander. I don't have
Because
to
you don't do
I don't
anything.
know.
Yeah, and that's fine. And sometimes that's the best commander. Yeah, I don't have
No,
to, I don't have to.
Tristani, every time you play that card comes out, and I'm just like, fuck, kill it,
Yes,
kill
you
it.
say fuck kill that, but the problem is there's too many other things that it's always like the last thing to get killed, right? Because
Oh, you mean because you don't have to attack and get your populate off of it?
No,
Oh,
it's
sorry,
because he
we're on
plays
your-
better
Exactly.
cards in his deck.
yeah, exactly.
It takes
And
a ton
that's
of
why
different-
it's so- No, and that's my point. It's the unassuming commander that builds it's with a well-built deck that plays so well. So first of all, every time you lay a creature down, it doesn't have to be token or not, you're gaining life. So you can laugh at it if you want. Lowery. But when you're sitting at 30 life and I'm at 200, it's not that easy to kill me.
It is.
All right, so let's just be honest. But no.
Well, Lowery also has a card
Lowery.
where he can make your life one. Oh wait, no, it's the wrong color.
Lowery,
So that is a card.
Lowery, it's gonna take 20 attacks with your commander to kill me. So
But
I'm
if
not worried
all you
about
have
that.
is nobody, like you got a ton of like nobodies, that's fine.
It's gonna take you 20 turns with your commander to kill me.
I've done it. It's fine.
I will say that Tristani, you need other things to populate with.
You do. It does not create tokens. That is its one weakness. But it is you create a token deck. You generate with that, and that's why the populated deck itself is almost secondary. You create you build it with life gain and populate, and then that way every token you generate also has a dual effect. Instead of just one effect like you guys get, I get a dual effect. Every token gives me life, and I get a token.
Who even likes life? Life is just meaningless. Life is
important.
meaningless.
And
Who
you know what
cares?
I do? Then I stick your little race
Whoa,
redeemed.
where are we going with this?
I stick your little race redeemed in my deck.
Ooh.
I stick in my deck and I double my tokens. Not only do I double my tokens, but then I double my life off of it.
Because mine's so good. But we're still on yours.
It's a good secondary card. It's not a good. I mean,
I
if you want to
agree.
go,
I
it's a
agree.
good secondary card. I wouldn't make my commander.
Larry, your card couldn't fit in either of our decks, so get out of here.
Just color parts. Like you can't even make the choice. I can make the choice and just be like, Reese, cut.
Get out of here. You've already lost.
Tristani, I think it's interesting, but like the CMC, like I've seen you multiple times where you're just like, well, I
We're
can't
not
play
going
this
back
on
to your
turn
card.
4 or 5. Like Tristani's green, white makes it
green.
tough
Okay,
for
gotcha.
you to like cast it on turn because you want to
But
cast it
that's-
as soon as possible. And I've seen you multiple times not.
That was early iterations. I got past that. I got better with deck building. I listened to this podcast. It wasn't your guys'. Don't worry about it.
I would just say build a better deck.
I went back to the button, Larry. I had to get it.
All right, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. There's been turns for something like that where it hasn't necessarily been out.
Yes.
But it's also not crucial to the deck. It is. That's why I'm saying it's an unassuming commander, and sometimes those are
Because
the
it's
best
bad.
Because because it's not a target. It's not a constant target. Because it's not a constant target. You know damn well there's been several games where I'm at 5 life and I come back to 200 and win the game just because of that commander.
Yeah, I think you're overdoing the 200 at that point, but that's
I
fine.
think as Larry
Like, you
said the
get-
200, now you're stuck on that
No.
game.
Yeah.
Every
You mean
game,
300,
Tristani's at
400?
200.
Like,
I have been to 800 before.
when it doesn't
I
even
think
matter.
I've been to a million. I think I hit a million at one
Like,
point.
million?
Yeah,
Sound like
probably.
my kids.
Look,
Maybe like
I
10 million.
Dude,
start
10 million?
counting, and I want to
Maybe
hear you
10
hit a
million.
million.
I did it.
million,
I was
billion,
using my
trillion.
fingers.
Lucky.
Look,
Oh man.
it's
All right. So
Tristani, like I don't have anything against it. I think your deck is fine, but
It's better than fine.
it's
better than your deck.
yeah. Good job.
he admitted.
It's fine.
Well, mine blows both of you guys out of the fucking water
my God.
because mine's I just have one. My first turn, it's out, and by turn 2, 3, I'm starting to generate tokens, getting them out there, and then
no,
I
you're
can make.
not on turn
Yes,
2. You
sure.
liar.
No,
Liar.
I'll do my. No, I'm not a liar. I'm playing my Mana Vault because I have it, and then I just start doing stuff. There we go. See, I'm gonna make up cards and just say that I have those out because that's what
like,
I guess
Mana
we
Vault
do in
is a
this.
real card. You're not making it up. You're just
we-
unlikely to have it.
So I'm going to be making counters. And the cool thing about mine is I don't have to base mine on one thing being copied. It's every token that I have on the battlefield. So there's like Trombley's. I'll give Trombley this. Tristani can be a big butt deck. It can be a deck that's more based on your creatures coming out that are bigger and you're gaining life off of that. You're more likely doing tokens, but you have 2 different angles. Lowery, you're just a 5 CMC
You're just
who's going to
boring.
play that commander. This also could be Elf Tribal. You could go Elf Tribal with this one
That's a
and just
great
be
point.
creating.
What is this? Your first deck? You unoriginal? Jesus.
No, that'd be Slivers. That'd be Slivers, buddy.
You want to argue Slivers now too?
That'd be Slivers. That's
Oh my gosh.
Raise your hand in this group who has made a Sliver deck.
It doesn't
Raise
matter.
your
I'm fine
hand.
letting Trombley win now.
Trombley.
I'm fine letting Trombley win now.
Yeah, and I destroyed that deck once I realized how embarrassing it was. But if you want to argue tribal,
That is
that's
not
fine.
why you destroyed that
Yes,
deck.
that's fine. If you want to argue tribal, go for it. I didn't know we were giving you a
I'm saying
handicap.
this is an option. I'm
my
saying
gosh,
it's an
yeah.
option
That's
to
the
go
option
tribal.
I would argue.
And then the other thing is you play tokens and you just make copies of everything instead of having to pick, oh, I'm just going to pick this one. I can only populate one. Mine's like, hey, populate one. How about populate all the motherfuckers and I kill all of you? That's what this deck does. And the cool thing is it's one CMC. It gets killed. It's 3 CMC. I'm still cheaper than both of you. And it gets killed again. I'm the same as Lowery. So I can get killed 2 times.
Yep.
And mine's the same cost as yours.
And at no
easier to
point
cast because
is
it's
it
only
worth it to
one
do
green
that.
or white.
I do like your point, Adam, that you don't have to think to make or use that deck. Right? You just look for elves.
Oh, you can.
You just look
No,
for elves.
I said
and-
that's an option.
and
I
you
said
just
it
look-
was an
you just
option.
look for elves, and you have to count to 1 to be able to play it. I do that. Those are 2 valid points.
No, people love elf decks. Elf decks are huge.
You
And
know what?
this
That's
is
a
your
good
elf
point. That's a good
commander.
point. Let's look how much people love elf decks. Let's see. On EDH Rec.
No, you don't pull up the numbers. Don't pull up the numbers.
Reese
I
is
already
used
pulled those up.
in 18 is
I know.
the least amount. All right.
I pulled that up already.
So they love
You
it
know
so
why?
much
'Cause
that
it's
you're
a-
in 3rd place.
I am. It's because it's so good. It's just everywhere else. It's part of everybody else's deck as well.
Nope. Third.
It's like this card is so amazing.
3rd place.
Did you check how many it was in for decks though in general?
No, that doesn't
Take
matter.
away commander.
Nobody cares. This is
It
about
doesn't-
commanders right now. The thing is like with
You weren't
Reese
supposed to look up
is-
those numbers, Trombley, because I looked them up because I was going to use that as my argument, and I was like, nope, mine's the last place, so we're going to skip that one.
So don't worry, I checked that.
Damn it!
like if we're gonna compare this to like beer, like Reese is like not the Budweiser because that's the most used, the most rank, and like people like that the most. And it's not Miller Lite because that'd be kind of you're like the Pabst Blue Ribbon, like
Oh, dude, Pabst is delicious.
yeah. See, that's why you like Reese. Like you're bad, you have bad taste. That's what I'm getting at here.
Oh, let's hear how sophisticated yours is, Lowery. Where does yours land?
All right, so I have a Shell Star Killer, and it is called Static Transmission. It's pretty solid. I'm not gonna
Well, I'm on this one. Look how cool my can is.
I can't even read it. No, Lupin?
Mine
Is that
says
Lupin?
Sticky
They're not even that
Puddles.
good.
It's Sticky Puddles. It is in
That sounds
a Imperial
gross.
Sour Ale, strawberry,
You put that in your sock. Don't.
banana, blueberry, vanilla, and marshmallow flavors.
Sounds
sour.
pretty good. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually
and
pretty good.
Trombley's sober because he's a good person.
You guys
But it's-
don't. You guys don't work normal jobs in the morning.
Touche. We have kids though. That's the other part that's hard. But you get up earlier than we do on that.
I just
Okay.
get back to bed.
Mine's the winner. It's fine. Just vote for me. It's all good.
I mean, yeah, if you eat crayons and eat macaroni and if you eat crayons
Why does eating crayons have anything to do with this?
and wear a padded helmet and ride the special bus, go ahead and vote Reese.
I guess I'm gonna have to delete all that. You're just ripping into special people. Gosh, Trombley. No, I'm
You
just
can't
kidding.
just like attack something. So like, okay, so number one for that, we have to not allow Trombley to be voted for. He just DQ'd himself.
Nope.
And
If
and
you
Adams
like,
is super boring. It's been around
No.
forever.
Giraud's super
I'm the clear
boring.
favorite.
Is that your
Tristani-
excuse? Is that it's been around forever? Is that what it is?
It's boring.
Is that really? It's
It
been
is
around
boring.
forever.
It is
It's not-
boring. I'll say that.
It's
Tristani
boring.
is clearly the winner because it's multifaceted, right? You get to populate. You get to.
What the
you
fuck?
get
I
life
just said with
gain.
fucking elf tribal is multi.
No,
That's the multi
that's
part of
not
it.
multi.
No, that's
I
the
got
eating
same
crayons
thing
part.
as you
Boring
guys,
shit I've
except
ever
I
heard.
can have tribal. You
Oh my
motherfucker.
So okay, here's the thing. Let's break this down just to simplify it for Adam. And so Adam
You don't-
is
you don't
is
need yours
tokens
broken
or elf tribal. And
And
like I
do
can respect
all
that
my
that's boring.
tokens. I don't need to just pick one.
And
You guys are
Trombley
all
is like
specific on
tokens
one.
with life gain, which is solid. And mine, Garrett, is like tokens with like extra attack. And
Wait, no, it doesn't give you an extra
attack coming from?
it's that theme that you can play into. You can play into that theme.
No. It doesn't give you extra text.
It doesn't give you that, but that's that extra theme.
We're talking about what the card is.
The way you stated that implied that it
Look, go back to your quilt making classes. Calm down.
No, you implied the card gives you that. You were stating the
These are themes that you can do within the deck. That's the point. You can
and mine is extra attacks, flickering.
I can do anything. That's the great thing. 3 colors.
Lowery,
Look, I would go. Can you guys go extra attacks? No, you can't. And I can
either.
because that would be beneficial to my commander.
You cannot.
You know, I can.
I would within my deck.
Mirror.
Oh
I have
my God.
Mirage Mirror, so I'm copying your extra attacks,
That's
and then
stupid.
I'm doing it.
That's stupid.
Oh my
Because
God,
I only
You
put
can't-
Mirage Mirror in when I don't have like a full idea of what the deck is doing. And that's why it works in Reese, because
Lowery,
you just don't have a
Lowery.
lot
I would
going
just
on.
say build a better deck.
I would just
Yeah,
say build a
right?
better-
I would just say build a better deck.
I'm rubber, you're glue. Bounces off of me, sticks to you.
You're garbage.
Your arguments are amazing sometimes. You just build this whole scenario of like, I have all these things.
Okay, you guys have built the deck, and they're both boring and very like, yeah. That's how I would. That would be the easy way to build it. That's
King
what I would
Lowery
do.
over here.
But Garrett is very
I'm just
cool,
throwing
and
up
I get to
shit.
imagine things.
It's
and
so
think
cool that
things
you've
up.
built the deck how many times?
What I want, Lowery, is please make this your next deck. Please make this your next deck, and I want it just to be an epic failure.
We'll just watch the views like go negative for some reason.
No,
It's
I
like,
want you
what
to-
the fuck? People are giving us views back.
Hey,
no.
aren't we playing next week? Can you please build this deck by next week? And I want it just to be so bad. I want you to
2
debut
weeks.
it, and then I hope it's terrible.
That's enough time.
Yeah, build this
I'm
deck, and I
busy.
want it to
Challenge.
be an epic failure, so that way you can
I'm
talk about it on the
busy.
podcast, Adam, how bad
I'm
the deck
busy.
was.
You're busy.
Yeah.
You're busy. I'll
mean?
give you this Thursday. You take the spotlights. I'll save my
I have
spotlight.
Switcheroo lined up. I'm sorry, and then
Nope.
plug. And I got my daughter's birthday party next weekend. I can't really do like deck building stuff, and you know how
good for you.
it takes me a long time to build a deck, like Adam. And just like if I had to decide
It
between
doesn't take
tokens,
you long to build decks.
if I had to decide between tokens and elves, it'd take me forever. That's just how it went.
You're bad at this. All right, let's wrap this up. All right, you guys can vote for one of the 3. You guys can vote on Discord is one place. You guys can vote on YouTube on the community tab. You can also vote on, where's our last place? Twitter. We have the Twitter voting on that.
It is last place.
Announce the winners next week. If Trombley wins, I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know. We'll have to figure out something.
You get a
Larry.
Vote
a
Trombley.
doll between you or behind you.
I guess it'll just be right on my
I'm gonna
shoulder.
show up to your house and give you Walt Willie in the podcast.
I'm all right
Son of
with
a bitch! Don't vote for
worth it.
Trombley. Now you're definitely gonna win.
Yeah,
If
you're
you
right.
want to
You're
see
winning.
Adam get a Wet Willie next Monday, you vote me.
Yeah.
Gross. All right. That should
I'm
do it for this
voting
week.
this
We
week.
will catch you guys next week. Thank you, Trombley, for joining us.
Thank you.
Lowery, give us the
Thanks, guys.
sign off.
Thanks
I
for
added, Trombley.
listening.
We'll see ya.
Bye.
Sega.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas.
Are we doing that this
Trombley, do you have anything to cheers? Like a cup?
Some fuckers for honkers.
There we go.
Okay.
love
Oh, it's
boobs.
see-through.
Thanks for the
It is
memories.
see-through.
I
Cheers your
love
camera.
Boobs.
The camera.
I got a protein shake.
Where did you go? He disappeared.
Fantastic.
Where did you go?
Fantastic.